Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
Free thought, the use of reason rather than faith, tradition, or authority, to form more people killed in the name of religion than by any other institutional force in human history. So, with such wildly contrasting beliefs in this country, why aren't we at each other's throats? Here's why. It's our Constitution, and its very core of freedom from religion. Our country was founded in part by refugees seeking freedom, seeking to escape centuries of religious persecutions, holy inquisitions, witch hunts.
The United States of America was the first nation where our founders did not claim a pipeline to a divinity. It was a revolutionary act that they created a secular and entirely godless constitution whose only references to religion are exclusionary. That there should be no religious test for public office. The founders were aware of the inquisitions and the pogroms and the religious wars and the terrors in Europe and the persecution in many of the individual colonies, and they wanted no part of that in our new government. So they erected what Thomas Jefferson called a wall of separation between church and state, and that protects all of us. It has prevented the bloodshed and warfare that we see in so many parts of the world where religion is involved in government.
There are some believers who don't see the difference between neutrality and hostility. They think efforts of groups like ours to keep the government neutral are actually a hostile act against their faith, when we are not asking for the government to be pro-atheistic either. If the government stays neutral, the government stays secular, then everybody's an insider, nobody's an outsider.
Freedom from religion is what we all value so highly. Privately, I can believe or disbelieve whatever I want.
When you think about social and moral progress, it's usually made by rebellious people, people who break the mold, people who are rejecting the dogma. Most progress is made by people who are free thinkers to some degree. They are challenging the status quo. The abolition of slavery was led by people who were either religious liberals or religious heretics. In fact, during the 1800s, the word infidel was a synonym for abolitionist. So you can name all sorts of progress made through history by people who tend to be either very liberal or free-thinking individuals. Otherwise, how is progress going to be made?
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. It's brilliant. There's a reason it's the First Amendment.
Nancy Pelosi is playing games. She's playing games. You see, we need an investigation into January more transparent than what the DOJ will give us. The DOJ will keep giving us a video here or there. They may let you know about some of the prosecution. Some of that stuff will hit the media. We need a full, transparent congressional investigation. Well, obviously, Republicans are not going to play ball. You don't get more bipartisan than being the Democratic Party in charge and saying to the Republican Party, but we're going to split this 50-50. You don't get more bipartisan than that. If their answer is no to that arrangement, they are not willing to operate in good faith about any investigation, a bipartisan investigation whatsoever. But Nancy Pelosi has this ability. She has this authority to actually appoint a select committee and do an investigation without the assistance of the other side of the political aisle. It needs to be done. So many, including CNN and others, they reported Nancy Pelosi is going forward with this select committee, and this committee will investigate January 6th. Well, Nancy Pelosi initially said she wanted a bipartisan way forward. Why? We didn't send you there for the sake of bipartisanship. We did not send you there to be beholding to your colleagues in the Congress. We sent you there to represent us. We sent you there to look out for Americans. We sent you there to look out for us. Not for them. They did not elect you. We did. So the report comes out, and then all of a sudden she says, "Oh no, I said that. I just said my options open." So CNN reported on the updated story and said, "Hey, now saying she didn't really say that at this committee meeting. We still stand our original reporting." I like the input that in there. Okay? Here's some Nancy Pelosi said.
This is why we have to have the investigation of this, and not to 9/11, but in a whole new era of communication and the we have. So we will have, whether it's this committee, still hope for a bipartisan commission, but if the Republicans won't go for that, then we'll go for a select committee to determine the truth on that day. And the truth means how was it, how did it start? What are the causes of it in terms of the attitude of the American people? But then more particularly, how was it financed? Who started all of this? The public has a right to know.
Let me tell you one thing I respect about the Republican Party. They didn't play Ghazi. Oh, they didn't give a damn that it was Hillary Clinton. They didn't give a damn it was the first lady. They didn't care that she was the Secretary of State, and they didn't care about bipartisan support. They investigated this woman, 7 different, over 30 committee hearings about this one incident. And by the way, I think Benghazi Harbor could have been we spent $7 million plus of investigations into it, and now you're telling them bipartisan help, want them to operate in good faith? Come on, Nancy. Come on, Madam Speaker. Where you at?
That statement should have been Nancy Pelosi's zinger. Here is our plan going forward. But she can't communicate. That's what's so frustrating, is the Democrats have like 1 to 5 total communicators in their party. They are like, even put Eric Swalwell above Nancy Pelosi in their ability to drive home a point. That one thing is right, that moment. Is there? I think that was April Ryan just like standing there going like, "What?
Are you people stupid?
Are you finished yet?" Exactly, and that really sums up Nancy Pelosi's entire approach to politicking.
This is Tommy Nation Politics
in a nutshell. This big, echoey, indecipherable, but
free thinking,
like it seems to have trappings of an impressive area, but she doesn't get to the point. She doesn't communicate it. And then the other thing is their general approach to this. Their whole idea of going and trying to get that bipartisan commission and giving the Republicans.
Alright, this is not working. I was supposed to disappear.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics. Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics. So, guys, I know, like, literally, I should have just gone on with it, but, like, I have a plan, and I need to follow the plan. I wanted to play my intro video, okay? And I did. This is my live stream. By the way, guys, I'm Tommy. This is Tommy Nation Politics. Welcome to your progressive, independent, new progressive media. You can hit us up at the website, www.tommynationpolitics.com, or go ahead and send me a message, facebook.com/TommyNationPolitics. I don't know if you guys realized it, but I did already choose my topic. How did I choose it? Guys, I'm a huge fan of being a free thinker. I don't know if you noticed. I love free thinking. I love being innovative and creative and totally open-minded. Guess who were some of the people that affected the progress in the human civilizations before? The rebels. In fact, the rebels, the ones who insurrected in the first place. Our founding fathers, they fucking, they believed in logic, all kinds of things. Science. I believe in science. Do I believe Fauci? Not really. I have a guest today with me that also doesn't believe Fauci. Why would she? Because Fauci's a liar. Why would anybody believe Fauci, honestly? But we'll hear from her. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but how's it going, MIZZ?
Hello, beautiful souls.
What's going on? How are you?
Nothing much.
Oh,
Just
go
doing,
ahead.
I'm
I
just
talk
doing
too
pretty
much. Go ahead.
good with my music. I had to take a little break from my podcast because I do have medical issues that I needed to address. But I wrote the episode "Crumbs Are the Best" because, well, unfortunately, that's what they're trying to put our mindset in. Is like if we accept just little to no help, then they did their job. Then we're happy. The fact of the matter is, that's far from it. We're being forced to accept what they're doing, and I believe deep down in my heart that one, it's wrong, and two, it's not going to help the current situation at hand. For example, let's bring up Biden's plus up payments that are mainly for families, basically households with children. Well, what about the ones who don't have children? What about the ones who are disabled? What about the ones who basically have none of those criterias? And let's remind everyone here that they promised, their exact words, they promised $2,000 monthly payments, recurring stimulus if they were elected. Well, guess what, folks? They've been elected, they've been in office, and we don't see none of that happening. So again, you got played. And that's their gimmick.
You know,
That's their game.
what's funny is that everybody keeps acting super surprised that they're getting played. Did you see that clip with TYT? They say Nancy's such a bad communicator. Nancy, she's just not doing it the way we want to do it. First of all, I don't agree with TYT at all about this whole insurrection thing. I'm curious to know what you think about this whole January 6th insurrection. Do you think it should be instigated? What do you think? What do you think?
What I
Do you,
think,
do you, do you, do you have you put a thought in it at all?
I
I
have.
don't know. Okay, go ahead.
And it was more like a coup
Okay.
against the
So
people. This
against
is
the
it's
people?
another it's just another what they call false flag. You got to have
How
a,
so? How so? Please explain.
well, obviously there was a lot of photos and videos on Facebook that, well, Facebook was taking down, and it was apparent that it was more of a setup. It was more like a staged attack to put the final nail in the coffin in the investigation involving former President Trump. So basically, it was yet another move to solidify their justification to remove President Trump, basically impeach him. Same thing when it comes to COVID. The discussion involving hydroxychloroquine and the fact that he made that statement, all major companies, including top doctors, basically interfered with the ability to use hydroxychloroquine as an emergency treatment for those affected by COVID. To be blunt, unfortunately, this was yet another major political coup against someone that they just didn't like. So they decided to sacrifice financially and mortally the lives of millions of people because they had some type of vendetta against one man. And
I mean,
personally,
that's part is clear to me. That part is clear to me.
and
They had a vendetta against him.
in every situation, when it came to arguments, when it with rival political parties, it was the people who paid the price. It was the people who had to face the hardships, and we're still facing hardships. And unfortunately, the mainstream media had a very big part in that because, again, this is an agenda we're talking about. It's not about what we want, it's about what they want. And it's time for everyone out there to realize that you can write all the petitions in the world, you can take them to court, you can even have an on record lawsuit against your officials for what they did, but I'm sorry, sweetheart, they're the ones that are in control. And I looked up this very interesting post on Reddit from this person who's on Twitter. He stated that the reason why they want you to go through the proper channels is because they have control of the proper channels and they're confident that it won't work.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's the game. That's the game they play, and they've played it. They've played the same game for so long that I can literally say it along with them, and yet we have still 40% of the country that is tied up, wrapped up, relating to these parties. They refer to themselves as Democrats and Republicans. These people with no office, with no power. These people that are being robbed by the politicians who Joe Biden's about to raise taxes for his infrastructure bill. The last time we did this infrastructure bill, Obama did an infrastructure bill. 5% went to roads and bridges. The rest of it went to their donors because all these parties want to do is funnel the wealth to their donors.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's literally like Samson and Delilah over and over again. When are we going to stop being Samson and fucking trusting Delilah? I don't understand. Like, literally. We call ourselves a Christian country, and we can't even fucking read the Bible and see what Samson and the book of Samson. Samson, the Philistines are after you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know who's behind this. It could be, I could be wrong about, I have a different take on this whole insurrection. I believe it was our revolutionary blood rising up inside of us and fucking combating the cancel culture and the social norms and the conventional wisdom. And we did this ourselves, and they're pissed and scared. They didn't realize that we were going to insurrect. So that's why. But see, they've been talking about this whole thing for a long time. They used it to impeach Trump.
I think
Yes.
personally,
They're using it for more. They're using it for more things. Go ahead.
Personally, I think again we have to let's be a little pragmatic about this. They stopped talking about the insurrection
When?
for a while, like a couple of weeks in, they kind of stopped talking about it, and they were talking about other things like the opioid crisis. That's what's
Oh, that's nice.
been going on. Now let's go a little bit further. When that wonderful woman wrote that wonderful petition demanding $2,000 recurring payments for all Americans until like this is completely over. Then all of a sudden, about maybe 3 weeks down the line, now there's a bombshell report about Anthony Fauci's email dump. Well, that's
You
strange
mean
timing.
Anthony Redacted? Anthony Redacted. We changed his name to Anthony Redacted.
Fauci, fuck him. Anyway,
His new name's
as I was saying, it's very
the guy looks like
It's
a
very
liar.
peculiar that they decide
Right.
to finally dump all this information when everybody, over 60% of the American population, wants recurring stimulus or in some cases UBI.
Isn't it funny?
Over 75% of all economists that are in the United States right now want recurring stimulus. We have the top mayoral candidate, Andrew Yang from New York, demanding that UBI
He's dropped out.
be
He dropped out.
established.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
He dropped out, but yeah.
We have overwhelming support for recurring stimulus and UBI. Now here comes the game they play. Oh, we have to
What?
think about the national debt. Well, you should have thought of that when you spent over $10.3 trillion giving it up to companies corporations. You should have thought about that when you bailed out the casinos. You should have thought about that when you bailed out the fucking airlines. So please,
The
if you can,
deficit.
if you can spend anywhere between 10 to 20 trillion dollars for your freaking donors and paying off favors, then you could damn sure do recurring stimulus for every American for the next
See,
couple of years.
look, Beatrice, this is why there's no point in even debating ideology. All these people want to debate ideology with me. Yeah, I'm a progressive and a left winger, and I believe that we can have a government that works for all of us and not the few. But there's no point if we don't have a government that works for all of us and not the few. Some of these people still think that, oh, the reason the government cut money and put so much federal guidelines is because they're just government's not good. We need small government because no, it's because the private sector owns the public sector. Do you guys not understand this shit? Do you understand why? It's not because government's just bad. It's because the government is corrupted by the private sector. So you're just going to hand the government to the private sector instead? Oh, that's going to be better. You guys, Jesus Christ. Pisses me off, dude.
I
Like,
think
how
the
can
status,
we get them to part C? They're at A to B. A to B. Government's overexpending, right? Government's screwing us, right? Now, B
mhm.
to C, the reason is because Bezos, is because Gates, is because Zuckerberg. They can't get to that point. The conservatives can't get there. They're only a B.
Unfortunately, this is what we will call mental enslavement, because the people have completely forgotten that, one, you got a brain, two, there's Google, three, you need to restore the ability to think for yourself. I mean, this whole entire time, especially with the pandemic, let's be blunt about this. The whole entire time, everyone who was affected was expecting for our government, mainstream media, and hell, even the private sector to be like, okay, tell me what to do. The problem about that is because of the fact that we look to the mainstream media, we're looking to the ones responsible for all the turmoil, all the
Yeah,
craziness,
exactly.
and then we're like, okay, let's try again. Let's give them another chance. Well, I'm
One more
sorry to
chance.
say,
He's not
one
going to
more
hit me this
chance,
time. He's not going to hit me this time. This time he'll be a
one
good husband.
Yep, yep. It's the battered. I'm gonna say it right now. It's the battered wife syndrome. Oh,
It
he'll
is. It
change. Let's
is.
put him in. Let's put him in
Too
therapy.
crazy.
Let's lock him up for a little while, and maybe that mindset will change. Well, when it comes right down to that, just like a friggin' narcissist, they're not gonna change. They like the attention. They like the controversy.
And
They
plus, they're
like
not.
having
There's
people.
no consequences. Why would they change if there's no consequences? If there's no
Exactly.
consequences,
They
why would
like
they change their behavior?
They
That doesn't
like
make
the
sense,
fact
guys.
they like the fact that they have the majority of the masses under their thumb. All they have to do is smile, put some damn background music to their friggin' ads when it comes to the vaccines. I'm gonna say it because I'm not gonna bite my tongue on that anymore. Every
I don't
single
think you
damn
have to
time you
anymore.
see, every single damn time there's a possible, I'll use that term, possible
Possible.
issue concerning pharmaceuticals, then they put these pretty little freaking videos on YouTube. Do the right thing, take your vaccine.
I'll
Anyway,
take the vaccine, guys, when you legalize marijuana. You fucking corrupt bitches. You fucking assholes. I swear to
oh,
God. They're not going to legalize
here's
marijuana,
the
but they're going to have the FDA approve any kind of vaccine that walks across their path.
yep.
Are you serious, guys? You're going to raise taxes and you're not going to give a living wage? These guys are so bad, and yet we have this bandwagon mentality. Okay, so they're not afraid of us because some of us are. I'm not going to say the C word. I'm going to say we're relating overly to the parties. But there's one person
Oh,
they're afraid of,
what C
Beatrice. I want
word?
to get your
What
take
C
on this.
word? What C word are you
Cucks.
gonna use?
They're cucks.
Cunts?
They're cucks.
Cunts?
They're cucks.
I see
They're
cunts.
they're puppets of the puppets of the
They're
rich.
stupid cunts. They're cunts. They want to talk about freedom. Oh, I wrote a very beautiful song about that. It's called Freedom. You're not even fighting for your freedoms. You're being freedom.
Freedoms. That shit, I know that you guys are hooked into the Matrix. But hey, Beatrice, they're afraid of one person. Here's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of this one guy who he was on Stephen Colbert, and they're really scared, dude. He gave them a run for their money. He
Hmm?
did a comedy monologue and shit. It was bad. This guy literally
with the man himself, Mr. Jon Stewart. John.
Yeah.
Either I ask you a question right now or do go on.
Can I say this about science?
You can say anything
So
you
you
want
just
about
did a
some of my best
monologue,
friends
pretty
of science.
much just like
And I love
combating
them,
their
and they
whole
do such
narrative
good
and their
work,
censorship.
But they are going to us all.
Now he's talking about how science is going to kill us
bomb,
all.
baby, atomic
Look
bomb.
look at
bomb,
Stephen
because
Colbert's
they're
talking about this shit.
So you have the atomic bomb, and if you the atom this way, it can power the world with electricity. And if you cut it that way, it can blow everything up. Guess which one we tried first? Like, that's who we are. A couple of years ago, there was the 1918, remember the last pandemic?
Sure,
So a bunch of
personally, but
scientists.
yes, I've read up.
I was there. Look at my beard. 1918, they had a sample that I guess had been in the whatever permafrost lab in the 1918. So the idea was they were going to reanimate it so that they could study it. The 1918 pandemic flew. They had a little sample of it, and it hadn't been a scourge in the earth for 100 years. And they thought to themselves, what if we just, I don't know, woke it up? And nobody in the room was like, no, let's not do that. But they did that. Here's how I believe the world ends. And I say this to you in sincerity. Okay. We are a screwed up world. There's racism, income inequality, fascism, authoritarianism, all these horrible, horrible things, natural resources that run down. That'll all be fine. The world ends, the last words man utters are somewhere in a lab. A guy goes, it worked.
Oh, yeah. So, Beatrice, you think it was a lab? I mean, the FBI knows exactly what's going on. They're not telling us. We'll find out in 25 years when it's declassified. What? And the whole so it must be bad if the FBI is going to lie. Oh, wait, they lie every day. My bad. They lie every day, and they fucking... And by the way, they learned from Julian Assange. They learned to leak emails, remember? They learned that from WikiLeaks. They learned that trick from WikiLeaks. Even the establishment is learning how to do things a little differently. Yet these partisan puppets still can't catch on to the game that's being played. The wool that's being pulled over our eyes. Isn't that amazing? The establishment... You guys can't even learn. God damn, it's crazy.
I think the saddest thing, in which I did an episode called Divided by Design, which is a bit of a tearjerker. I'll send it to you. I figured out how they're going to destroy us. And that's by more division.
Like Jon Stewart said? Oh, okay.
It is by more division. Now, first we were destroying each other based on race. You know, black, white, Latino, and all that stuff. Now, then we're destroying each other based on religion. Catholicism, Christianity, Muslim, whatever.
Right.
Now we're destroying each other based on a socioeconomic status. Who do you know? Who are you connected to? What you got? What do you own? And now it's by disease. Are you vaccinated? Get your
By design.
vaccine. Everything is by design. And every single time I explain this on Twitter, people are like, no, it's not by design. Okay, then what the fuck is it then?
Yeah, they don't have an answer. But Trump's gone. They don't have an answer anymore.
That's getting that, honestly.
Trump was their answer.
That shit is getting old. That shit is getting old. Every single friggin' time I come on Twitter, it's like, look what Trump did. Look what Trump said.
I know. He's gone, bro. Like, get a life.
Let it go. You got what the hell you
Let
wanted.
it go.
You want to continue to torture that man because he blew your asses out of the water about the child sex trafficking.
Ah, I know. That was so great. That was so great, bro. When he went on Twitter and asked for a stimulus, that was my favorite part. Nancy Pelosi was like, did you see how drunk she was in that clip beforehand? She couldn't even... That woman is so bad, bro. She's still Speaker of the House. These guys. So we have the people, in order for more perfect union, we can establish justice. We can do these things. All we have to do is literally, they work for us. We can change things. We have the power by the Constitution. The Constitution gave us power. That's why we're not fighting each other over religion anymore. Or race, because all men are supposed to be created equal, right? Under the Constitution.
No,
but
now
we are so enthralled with these two parties that we can't even take our part back.
Exactly.
It frustrates me that people say I have social issues. So I don't know what to say. You guys make me have social issues. I'm just saying.
Hey, at least you're not being called a social reject. Okay,
I mean, I am though. I really am. I so am.
but I've become very poetic in what I have to say to the world. I have to say to these dumbass humans.
You're the one
The
that wants to save them.
fragment,
Yeah.
the fragments of high society, the fragments of wanting to belong, makes outcasts of us all. And the more
Yeah.
that we yearn to, run for public office, that's funny. And the more we yearn to try and change our government, there's your resistance. Now, if everyone were to just say, you know what, I'm not going to pay attention to these motherfuckers anymore, they lose their power immediately.
Yeah, they do.
I don't. Oh,
But
do you
Trump!
vote?
But
I
Trump!
don't vote. Oh,
But
do you,
Russia! Russia!
let's talk about Trump. No, I'm not going to talk about him. Let's talk about
Oh,
Pelosi. No,
please,
I'm not
God,
going to talk about her.
no. God damn. I don't
Now,
care anymore.
let's talk about the Democrats.
The
No,
next time we talk
let's
about
talk
these
about the
guys, can we
Republicans.
have a
No,
gallows and some ropes? Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
if
Anyway, go
you,
ahead.
if you need to stop paying attention to them, they feed on the goddamn attention. That's the reason why they literally infested the social media platforms. These social media platforms
Infested.
were supposed to
Infested.
be for us to come together, to communicate.
Yeah.
Now it's become a battlefield, according to my episode, Social Media Battlefields or Battlegrounds. And it hurts, because I like to have a nice conversation with others. I do. I'm a very pleasant person, but every single time I comment my feelings on the fact that this is not newsworthy anymore, cut the crap, and then I have to deal with, oh, do you vote? No, I don't vote. Then you don't have a voice. I have a voice. I'm gonna use it, and fuck you. So that's the
Yeah.
way it is. I'm
Money, well,
tired of
money is
the
speech. Money is speech. Voting is voices. These are all these metaphorical things that they're true, and the truth is not truth. The truth is actually, I don't know, Russia or Trump. But yeah, all these little voice. You have to use your voice, and that's your vote. And then we're all fighting for freedom.
right.
I know. I get it, guys. Blech! I know.
Like
So that's why
I
I don't
literally
get it.
all of my songs, all of the songs that I have written and published is basically saying, okay, you're doing the same crap. You're following the same narrative. You're giving into the same fear, same BS, same slogan, same false promises, same campaigns, and you're still not getting anywhere. Want to know why? Because you won't wake up. You won't pay attention. And here's another trick. The reason why they have all the politicians wear like blue and have the background that's blue is to
Because
create
they're gangbangers.
this
They're
direct-
gangbangers.
no, listen,
Okay,
Tommy.
go ahead. I'm trying to make
It's to,
jokes. Go ahead.
it's to create serenity. It's to literally calm the mind to prevent any kind of resistance, any kind of reaction. Now the red, now here's the thing, because I did this episode called Politics I Smell a Sitcom. There was a show on PBS called Political Theater, and it had to do with the blue coats and the red coats. Now you got the blue coats, they talk about humanity, how they want everybody to come together, sing kumbaya and do this shit, and everyone's like, yay, okay. Then we have the red coats that they want to subjugate the people. They want to insurrect on our rights. They want to make us mental slaves and all that. This is exactly what's happening. And this show had been going on for over 40 years. And I watched it as a kid, and I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna play. I wonder how real that this stuff is. And yes, it is, because when you have Democrats, you got blue wave. Ooh, blue means good. Blue means washing away stuff. Well, nigga, you fucking fell for it again. Because soon as we got well, I'm not saying me, but the people got what they wanted. Oh, let's do the blue wave. Oh, yeah, we got Biden. Yeah, we got more Democrats. Well, guess what? Our asses are even more broke. We're facing eviction. We ain't got no motherfucking stimulus. So I hope you're fucking
I
happy. I
know.
hope you're
They're
happy
cucks. They're
that you
cucks.
won.
Hey, so Beatrice, I have to get. I have to get to this other issue. So I just want. Speaking of what you were just talking about, how the same old song is happening. So in Politico today, it says a Saigon moment. Biden feels political heat as chaos looms in Afghanistan. So I don't know if you know, we're supposed to get out of Afghanistan on September 11th because it's all symbolic and shit. Even though Afghanistan has nothing to do with 9/11 or neither does Iraq, but they're trying to be symbolic so they can blue wave, red wave this shit, and color code our fucking traumas. So it says it's Politico ahead of President Ashraf Ghani's visit to the White House. By the way, he is the biggest puppet of ours. Ashraf Ghani is the biggest American puppet. He literally says whatever Biden wants him to say. Like he literally says, he said on an interview, "I will say whatever Biden wants me to say." He said that. So he says the U.S. says it will evacuate Afghans who have assisted in the war effort. This guy who's president of Afghanistan, he's only president because we literally created a vacuum in the Middle East, a power vacuum, and we placed our puppet there, just like we placed Guaido. We tried to place Guaido in Venezuela, but still, the Sunnis and the Shiites are fighting. There's a Muslim caliphate war. There's all this shit going on, and then now all of a sudden, President Joe Biden's self-imposed September 11th deadline to unconditionally withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan is nearly 3 months away, but the political and humanitarian fallout from his decision is already rattling his administration. From Politico. Oh my God, the mainstream media is warmongering. We should stay in Afghanistan. What do you think? Should we stay?
Oh, bullshit.
Because Ashraf Ghani's not need to be the full puppet that we want him to be. Maybe he needs a little bit more puppet training. Ashraf Ghani, do you need more puppet training? What do you think, Beatrice? Should we stay in Afghanistan? Or should we keep our deals? If Trump was in office, he would keep his deals. You guys keep saying that Biden's better, and then you want to stay in Afghanistan.
When it comes to Trump, yeah, he might have said some pretty interesting, offensive things, especially what they claim that he was offending a lot of blacks and all this dumb shit. But what I did notice before the insurrection freaking happened is that he was able to make peace deals with the 3 top Middle Eastern countries to put an end to it. Now we're back at it again.
And Kim Jong-un.
Now we're back at this shit again.
I know, bro.
So it seems to me, I'm sorry, but it seems to me that there has to be some type of vendetta that's going on between, no offense, the Obama, the Bidens, and the Trumps themselves. Because how the hell do you put an end to an international crisis in a few years, whereas we had a Democratic majority House and the Senate back in 2008 and in 2012? That's 8 years.
You're not supposed to remember that.
We were going at this. Then all of a sudden we get a Republican, incumbent, whatever the hell he was. We get him in the office, and the first thing he wants to do is, I want to make peace with these countries. I want to put an end to this. But the mainstream media didn't put that out. But Twitter didn't hesitate to do it. Twitter didn't hesitate to put up the actual evidence that this man nearly, and I'm going to say nearly because of what's going on now, he nearly put an end to the Iran nuclear deal and all of that. He sat down with those people and said, "We need to stop. I will pull the troops out." That's what
we need to do it. We don't stop, Beatrice. We install our own puppets. That's the plan. Okay.
So
Trump got it wrong.
What I'm saying is,
I know.
he almost put an end to it. Now, no sooner. Now count it. This is 4 weeks after the inauguration of Biden. 4 weeks after. Now we're back at it again with these other countries. Now we're facing a possible war with North Korea
and Russia
right now,
and Iran.
Because you want to know why?
No Iran deal. By the way, guys, Joe Biden isn't doing anything. No fundamental change. In fact, he isn't even doing his Iran deal. There's no Iran deal happening, guys. None. He said he would get us back into the Iran deal. He hasn't. He hasn't done a goddamn thing.
Oh, but he did not. But he did not hesitate. But listen to me right here. He did not hesitate to decriminalize and move to make it easy to basically use crack and heroin and all that. He amended certain things when it came to that. But then when people bring up that, you should just federally legalize weed altogether, I don't have time for that. Fuck you, old man.
It's actually, I'm going to fire everybody in my administration who smoked weed just because you said that. Look, fact, I'm a Democratic caucus. This guy's a douche to the
You mentioned weed,
most
and then he
level,
wants
the
to
nth
ruin
level, bro.
the lives of others.
I literally want to. I've never wanted to hit a man so much than I want to hit that guy. He's a
Well,
douchebag.
that won't solve anything. All I
I know,
know
but it made me
is
feel good. Made me feel
all
good.
I know is that the people need to sit back and they need to do their homework like good little slaves and realize that okay, this man is about to raise your taxes. He is cherry picking who needs help. The administration is cherry picking who needs help. They feel that, oh, we'll give you money if you go back to work. What about the ones who, and I already quoted this in my episode, Crumbs Are the Best. What about the ones who cannot work? What about the ones who have lifelong disabilities? What about the ones who have been affected by your bullshit policies involving the contaminated water across our country? So you're just gonna forget about all about us. You know, the ones who actually took the time and drove to the fucking polls and voted for your bitch ass. So that's not gonna go down either. So what I'm
The
gonna
Trump.
say is this. What I'm gonna say is this: is we need to offer our own ultimatum. Is that if you don't want to help everybody across the board, turn in your papers, resign, and get the fuck out of the White House. And that's for every
That's just
single
the
leader.
first day, Beatrice. People keep saying I don't have solutions. That's the best solution. That is the solution. You guys need to get the fuck out. Everybody who was in office during COVID should have been voted out. They weren't. Everybody who was in office during the Iraq War should have been voted out. Nancy Pelosi is still Speaker of the House. So while people are telling us we have no solutions, they're literally doing the opposite. What's the opposite of solutions? Problems?
Problems.
They're creating problems by keeping these people in office for a longer time so they can get even more corrupt.
It's like what Dave Chappelle said. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Modern solutions. Get it, little boo.
And the modern solution is you're going to keep cherry picking. You're going to keep playing games with us. You're going to keep putting us through this shit. Either you do what is right or resign. If you don't resign, well, we can petition to have you removed for mental instability because this shit
Like
is
Gavin
insane.
Newsom. Yeah. That's one thing about California that's good. They're recalling their governor. At least California knows their politicians are so horrible. Like, I don't know what happens in California, but they grow the best wine grapes, the worst politicians. So I don't have a lot of time, Beatrice, but y'all make sure that you go to Beatrice's Miss V's podcast, and Crumbs Are the Best is her episode. I listened to the whole thing, and I put it on the podcast this last Tuesday, but y'all should definitely go. And because she's got her episodes are actually shorter than mine, and they're way better. Like they're more interesting. She probably talks better too. So she's a poet. So, but anything you want to say, Beatrice, to end this? Because I gotta go work.
Until next time, love one another, stay strong, stay wise, and weather the storm. Check out my next episode coming up, Grandiose. I love all you beautiful souls.
And this is Tommy Nation Politics, guys. Be free thinking, innovative, totally open-minded. Check out my A Very Yankee. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. Yankee Doodle do or die. That's how we used to play back in the day. Join us 8 p.m. Central Standard Time Tuesday. Tommy Nation Politics. Free thinking.